Factoring a polynomial. Factoring a polynomial means rewriting a polynomial as a product of factors. So, for example, if I have the polynomial ab plus ac, I can factor out a, which means take out a common factor from both these monomials, and I would take it out like this, a times b plus c. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm doing the distribution property in reverse. So if I were to redistribute the a back into the bracket this way, you could see I would get a times b plus a times c. So factoring is just the reverse of distribution. It's taking out a common factor from all the monomials and putting it in front of the brackets here as a multiplication. Now, if there are a few different types of factoring techniques. Depends, of course, on the polynomial that you're given. In this very first example where I factored out an a, the common factor of a from both these terms here, this is just simply called removing a common factor. So there's a common factor of a in both terms, so I can take it out. But then there's factoring by grouping. So let me give you a numerical example of what that means. So suppose I give you, so this was example 1, so let's do example 2. Suppose I give you the polynomial 9x squared minus 12xy squared plus 6xy minus 8y cubed. So let's start by grouping these things. I'm going to group these first two terms together and these second two terms together. So factoring from the first group over here, I'm going to factor out what's common between these first two terms, and that's 3x. So 3x is factored out. What's left over here is I simply divide by 3x, and I'm left inside the brackets by, so 9 divided by 3, 3, x squared divided by x, x, minus 12 divided by 3, 4, x divided by x, 1, y squared, plus. And from the second two terms over here, I'm going to factor out a common factor of 2y. So 2y. In my brackets, I'm left with 3x, the y is gone, minus 4y squared. Now, at first glance, you might think you're finished, but if we take a look again, we see that in the first term over here, there's everything in this bracket over here that is similar, identical to everything in the bracket over here. So one more time I'm going to factor out, but this time I'm factoring out from these two terms the content of the brackets. So I've got 3x minus 4y squared being factored out, and what's left is the coefficients in front of the brackets. So there's 3x here plus 2y. And so now it's completely factored. I started off with 4 monomials, and I now have 2 factors represented by these two brackets multiplying each other. So this is called factoring by grouping. There's yet another type of factoring, and that's called the difference of two squares, which I've shortened by dots, D-O-T-S. So difference of two squares. And really what it says is if you've got some number squared minus some other number squared, you can represent this as a plus b times a minus b. So a quick example of this would be, let's say I've got 9x squared minus 4y squared. Well, I can rewrite this as 3x squared minus 2y squared. Notice that I can apply the distribution of this exponent inside this bracket to get 9x squared again, and here 4y squared. So really what I have is uh, a square minus another square. So this is the difference of two squares, which means if I wanted to, I can write this as the first term, 3x, plus the second term, plus 2y, times first term, 3x, minus the second term, 2y. And so I factored this over here, 9x squared minus 4y squared, as these two brackets down here.